Welcome back. Can you believe it? We are now accepting nominations for the 4th annual Positively Milwaukee Awards. We really want to honor everyday people who are making big differences in people's lives. Perhaps they left behind a legacy of kindness and generosity. And that is the case with Jimmy Banks. He won our Legacy Award last year. Here's his story.
Jimmy has been referred to as the Jackie Robinson of American soccer.
He was an even better man than he was a soccer player, and he was a superb soccer player.
There'd be little moments during practice where he would demo something, you know, and the guys would be like, whoa, did he just do that?
He never really talked about himself and what he did.
If he saw the camera in here, he would walk around.
I think he's possibly better known internationally than he is known locally.
He never talked about himself.
I think that's why we didn't know how big his story was.
He was an All-American in high school. He was an All-American in college. He was a professional for the Milwaukee Wave, All-Pro. He played in the World Cup. There aren't many people who could say that they did that.
A kid from Westline, from Milwaukee, made it all the way there. When I first found out that he ended up playing in the World Cup and on the World Cup team, I didn't find out from him. I actually found out from someone else, just out of nowhere, just like, oh yeah, your dad played in the World Cup. It's like, what? That's how much he didn't talk about it.
Often the question is asked of coaches, you know, you got tryouts, you got selection process and all that. Well, why did you pick him? What was the determining factor, right? And for Jimmy, it was right on the money. Jimmy made everybody around him better.
Being able to see like a person that's like, you know, your skin color, comes from your type of background, grow up to go to that kind of stage and like play at a pro level like that, that's just amazing.
We have football, we have basketball, we have other great sports. But if soccer had gotten that kind of publicity at that time, everybody would know who Jimmy Banks is. We would know him as well as we know Brett Favre.
But the big thing was too, is to come back and give to his community. It wasn't just about soccer with him.
He was an angel that we needed in our lives at that time.
He helped out a lot of people that came from nothing, and they grew up and they're responsible adults.
He was the coaching director, he was the father, he was the mentor.
Once I reached the professional level, then I had the opportunity to make a mark. And that's one way that I look at it, because soccer has been so good to me. I just wanted to put something back into the sport, as far as working with inner city kids, disadvantaged kids, and things like that.
He just did so much for people that it's kind of hard to like even imagine that he's gone still to this day.
He says to Rob, well, I've got cancer again. And Rob, who had been his assistant for 5-6 years or something of that nature, he says, what do you mean again? He says, well, this is my 3rd time. I'm going to win this one too.
Growing up, seeing my dad always like strong, always doing stuff on his own. Suddenly, he's just laying there in the bed, and this could possibly be his final days. He made an impact on a lot of people, man, from all walks of life.
Everything's gonna be okay. Those are his words.
He kept fighting the entire time, and it was amazing. I missed that smile on his face when he seen his grandchild be born. He told me that was the happiest thing that ever happened to him. There's not too many Jimmy Bankses out there.
There are many, many men today who will tell you that Jimmy changed their life.
I think that's a big part of his legacy, and we definitely want to try and continue that on with the Jimmy Banks Academy. We want to introduce soccer to more kids in the inner city, but with the curriculum added to it, where we're teaching life skills. If me and a lot of my friends or a lot of people in the community didn't have soccer, we wouldn't be where we are right now.
That was Jimmy. He's just fantastic.
Jimmy's a great person, one of the best people I've ever met.
I put Jimmy in a class of his own, right? Because of what he did for a bunch of young men that didn't have anything.
Jimmy was genuine, and he was genuinely nice.
I would say he was the best.
It's a lot to live up to, but for good reasons. That's the type of legacy that we need to carry on when it comes to Jimmy Banks.
So many powerful moments, and Jimmy's sons actually accepted the award on his behalf, and it was very emotional. We were all crying at the dinner. They were so grateful for the honor given to their father, and as you can see, well deserved. And we want to do the same for someone special that you know. We have 7 awards to choose from, including Teacher, Youth, Senior, Healthcare, and Unsung Hero. They could win up to $5,000 for the charity of their choice. Nominate them now at tmj4.com/awards. I'll be right back with my quote of the week.